My name's Tim. I'm 32 years old, and I make retro game consoles look pretty. Well, first of all, they already look pretty, of course, but sometimes people just want something that's personalized, or they can relate to more because it's like made with a theme of their favorite game, or it has a logo of their brand on it. So getting more and more interested in getting something they knew from back in the days when they were a kid, but made with the style they've got now. Well, it started with a few friends of mine. We organized a chiptune night called Eindbaas. It's where people make music with like Gameboys and Commodores and Ataris. And I was always kind of the handyman who could repair stuff, and they asked me to modify their Game Boy so they had backlight or they had different sound exits. And from there I started doing more colors and modifying them to look what I think pretty. So it started from there, and with my background at an art academy, I just thought, well, why not go all out and make the best I can of the game consoles. I am a retro gamer, mostly because the new consoles has too many buttons and it confuses me. And second, I think if you play the Super Nintendo with like Zelda, the story is so great. The graphics are really simple but really well done. And the story is really what counts. It counts. It drags you into a game instead of just looking as good as it gets, but not really interested in the storyline. So yeah, retro games are for me easier to get into because you can just pick them up and play them instead of having to spend hours and hours learning buttons and learning how to play the game in the first place. Some retro games are quite relentless, but the thing is, you get what they mean. I mean, it's hard, but you have to play it and play it and play it, and you get better and better and better, and you get rewarded for your skill. And with the new games, you got tutorials and you got things on the screen saying, no, go that way, and you want to find out yourself, and you want to find out how you can beat the game, and you get a real sense of rewarding feeling if you finish a game. So that's what retro gaming is for me all about. To modify game consoles, it takes a lot of practice in the first place. It's not just picking up a game console and a spray can and just doing whatever you want. You have to have some technical knowledge. You have to take them out and put them back together again. That's the first step. And it's like you have to know what you do with the paint. You have to know. You should have a reasonable design to start with, and it has a few steps. Like you have to open the game console, take off all the parts, clean it, put on a base coat, put on the paint, and put on the clear coat. It's not something you just do in a day. It's something that you get better in practicing every time. It's fun to do. I mean, I encourage everybody to do it because it's you get better at it every time you do it, and it's rewarding because at the end you got a really cool personalized game console. So, but it does take practice. Yeah, the time I spend doing these consoles, it's in actual hours. It's maybe not that much. It's 2-3 days maybe, but. That's a lot of time you have to wait in between the steps because first, when you get a game console, usually the retro game console are quite dirty. I mean, kids have been touching them with their dirty little fingers for years and years, so they're gray, brownish, stainy. So the first thing you do is you open them up, you take all the plastic, you put it in a bucket with some soap, and you just soak it for maybe 1 or 2 days. You clean it, and then you put on the first base coat, the primer coat, and then you have to wait a day, and then you have to do the second coat, wait a day, third coat. Maybe sometimes it's like 4 or 5 coats, and you have to wait a long time between the coats because if you don't wait and it's not dry, you get cracks in the paint and stuff. So the most time you spend doing the game consoles is waiting for the paint to dry. Well, there's a Magic Buttons logo, I mean, on the Game Boy itself and in the screen as well. It's the happy face from the Magic Buttons. I did it with a cartridge called Drag and Derp. It's a Game Boy cartridge which you can connect with USB to your computer. You can load any program you want on it, and for this one I programmed the Magic Buttons logo. You just put the game on it, put it in your Game Boy, turn it on, and you got a Magic Buttons logo. I don't think it will be like a profession of mine, but it's like I love doing it, and more and more people find me and ask me to do game consoles for them. So it's growing, and it will always be something I really enjoy doing. I don't know if I would stop all my other jobs and just go retro gaming, because then it's like a job and you don't have a hobby anymore. But it will always be something I'll continue doing and I'll continue loving to do. Hopefully there will be a complete line of Magic Button consoles. I mean, it would look amazing, I think, if there's like, you got a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, PlayStation, Sega, every game console you know, in the colors and with the logo of Magic Buttons, it would look really cool. So that's something in the planning for the next batch of retro game consoles indeed. It just keeps build up, and in the end you have to make a whole room in a Magic Buttons style and a house in a Magic Buttons. No, that's silly.